body is very intelligent, and so we allow an opportunity for that intelligence to unfold with gentle, accessible movements that's comfortable, hopefully, for everyone, whether they are able to stand and move or sit. And so the practice actually meets you right where you are. We have an opportunity to partner and really understand partnership in the body and what that means. A reminder, it's a class of remembering who you are, getting a chance to feel your way through your natural state, which is grace. Grace is your natural state. Healing is your natural state. And so this is just reminder movements so that you can remember that is the natural state.
So, hello, everyone. Welcome. We're really glad you're joining us for part 3 and the final segment of our special live series with our presenters. So, we are spotlighting a couple of our incredible presenters who will be at SYTAR 2025. That's the Symposium on Yoga Therapy and Research. My name is Marita Greenidge. I am the Marketing Communications Manager at IOIT, and I am joined here in a host capacity with my colleague, Kelly Freeman, who is the Membership Manager at IOIT. So as we count down to SYTAR in June, which will be in Atlanta, today's session is going to wrap up just behind the scenes session of what is ahead, what you can look forward to. You'll meet a few more of this year's presenters. You're going to hear about their sessions, get a feel for their thoughtful and very inspiring conversations, and just understanding something that will help you understand what makes SYTAR a very meaningful space for the yoga therapy community. We will also be answering questions live. So if you want to ask anything, just drop it in the chat. We're going to start with a short centering, just a few moments to breathe, arrive, kind of ground ourselves a little. And today we are streaming on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So whether you're joining us live or you're catching the replay, welcome to all of you. We're so glad to have you as part of the conversation. So we're going to begin. And today I'm feeling like something to just kind of energize us a bit. I mean, sometimes we're often sitting at our desks and stuff like that. So we're going to kind of bring some movement to the joints. So you can choose to close your eyes if you want. You can have them softly open, whatever is speaking to you right now. And we're going to focus on our breath. So just begin to notice your inhales and your exhales. Noticing how your body feels right at this point. Letting those inhales be like you are inhaling something that you really love to smell, like a flower, maybe the scent of vanilla, whatever is a lovely scent for you. That's how I want your inhales to be. And we're softly exhaling. And your next inhale, I just want you to raise your shoulders up just towards your ears. And then when you exhale, just let it go. Yeah. And inhale again. And just let that go. And then one more time. And release. And then start to roll your shoulders forward. Maybe take them back a little bit, feeling like you're opening out the chest a little. And then settle back into stillness. Let's move the neck a little bit. I'll give you some options. You can take it side to side like this, so like your ear towards your shoulders. You can move up and down, side to side like this, and then circles. So I'm giving you those options because I want you to choose what feels good for your neck right now. So you're listening to your body, and you might want to do a few more circles, or someone might just want to go side to side. You kind of feel out what feels good for your neck right now. And then once you've evened out a little bit, we're going to let you settle back into stillness. And let's take this a little bit down into the spine. And let's move a little, just a gentle movement from side to side. Just gentle from side to side. And if you feel like, you can start bringing your hands in here, but you don't have to. It's only if that's what you're feeling like. Today, I want to do this. And if you want to stay on one side longer than the next, go for it. Remember, we're feeling within our bodies. And once you've now evened out on both sides, you can then settle back into stillness. And we're going to take it into a twist. So same thing, we start gentle. You can place your hands just on your knees and let it slide along the thighs and just twist and twist from side to side, just letting your breath flow with that movement. Yeah. And then even out and settle into stillness. And then we're going to take it into a little seated cat-cow. So inhale. Bring your tummy towards me and exhaling, rounding it out. And I leave it to you to do what you want with your hands. If you want to have your hands open and just flow there, just kind of do what feels good. Yeah. Just some nice little movement there. And I'm going to ask you to just kind of shake your legs out just a little bit. Just kind of shake it, move around. You can move the ankles just a tad, shake it out, shake it out. Yeah, just bring some movement there. I'm sitting here with my feet all cross-legged, so I'm going to kind of hold on here and move them around a little bit. All right, and then we're going to settle back into stillness. Just take a few more deep breaths. And then you can open your eyes if they were closed. If they were softly open, let's bring a little bit more awareness and alertness to them. And we are going to begin today's session. Thank you. Thank you all for those lovely moments. So, I love beginning with our sessions. When we started, we didn't used to do this, but we find that it's nice to take a moment to ground yourself. It's nice to start from this place of presence. It kind of always sets the tone. So that's what we kind of do now. And now that we're here settled, let's meet some of our awesome SYTAR 2025 presenters. And remember, we are going to have our eyes on the comments. So if you have any questions, or even if you just want to say hello, tell us where you are, just drop that in the chat. So let's kick things off with some quick introductions. I would like you to, I'm going to go around to our presenters and you can share your name and tell us a little bit about what brought you to yoga and yoga therapy. And I think I'll start with Dr. Abney and then we'll go around from there. So over to you.
Thank you, Marta. I am Dr. Edna Abney. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, a somatic practitioner, a holistic healing guide, and a serial entrepreneur. I've been practicing yoga for almost a decade now. And I have a really beautiful story about my journey with yoga. I went through a really difficult time in life. And I had this beautiful, beautiful spiritual guide who is still my spiritual sister to this day. She strongly encouraged me that I had to go take a yoga class. And I've been hooked on yoga ever since. My journey with yoga is what moved me to becoming a yoga therapist. I always say that person and yoga saved my life. And I felt such profound effects from my journey with yoga that I just had to share it with others and wanted to spread these the benefits, the healing benefits of the yogic practices to my clients and anybody else who would just take it on. And so I said all that to say the spiritual sister that I that got me into yoga will also be my co-facilitator for my experience this during this SYTAR Symposium. So Dr. Tequila Hill, who is also a healer and somatic alchemist, we are super excited to be here. So thank you.
Awesome, Dr. Abney. Thank you for sharing that with us. We are going to move on to Dr. Shafer.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Kathy. So I like to call myself Dr. Kathy. And what brought me to yoga, I'm so glad to tell my story briefly too, is back pain. I was told after my years of running marathons that I needed back surgery because of the intensity to the spine. And I went and got a second opinion. And the second opinion was, you don't need back surgery. You need yoga. And I'm like, yoga? I can't even move. I'm in so much pain. And at that time, this is back in the 90s, because I was also, well, part of my healing journey is being hit by a drunk driver while running and told I would never walk or run again. And now I'm in back pain and I can't stand up. So I went to the only yoga studio that was available in Jupiter at the time, Jupiter, Florida. And that was the Bikram hot yoga. And so I went to that class for the first time. I just sat in the back of the room in this hot room and I couldn't move. And then one day, one of the poses, for those of you who are familiar with Bikram, is when you raise your hands up and you're on your knees and you bend forward, and my back just went boop, and popped right back into place. And I'm like, oh my God. So my PhD-ness said, I have to research this yoga stuff. So that's when I went on my journey to becoming a yoga therapist and applying it to my clinical practice with work with the addictions, trauma, relationships. And I'm so excited to be one of the keynotes this year to present my research that I did at an addiction treatment center on the benefits for yoga nidra for people in recovery. And the title of my workshop is Making the Invisible Visible, because the qualitative research is so important so we can explain and demonstrate what actually happens when people go inside. So I'm really excited that I was picked. Feel so lucky and fortunate to share my research and the results of what I found, and to encourage others to do the same, because it's really not that hard to do. So I'm so happy to be here, and thank you for inviting me. And I'm so happy to be here with the other presenters as well.
Oh, we feel so lucky to have you, to really have all of you. I really enjoy hearing, this is one of my favorite parts. I really love hearing the stories about how people find their way to yoga and then by extension yoga therapy. So it's always fascinating for me to listen to that. But thank you. Thank you so much. We are going to move on to Olena.
Hi. My name is Olena Bakai, and I'm joining you from Ukraine. And I want to tell you, my English is not super fluent, and I've made some notice, and just not to take too much time on a live stream. So I'm truly honored to be here in this professional, human, and deeply supportive space. This is a very personal moment for me. I had planned to attend SYTAR 2 years ago, but my visa was denied, and today I'm here, and it feels like a small miracle. So my journey into yoga didn't start with inspiration, but with the need to survive. I was looking for something to stay healthy. After giving birth to my son, I felt physically and emotionally unwell. And I told myself, if I can take care of myself, I can raise a child. And I tried yoga, and quickly I discovered yoga is not only about the body, it's about true with myself. It's about consciousness and subconsciousness and the balance between body and mind. I'm a yoga therapist. I am a master's degree in physical therapy and have background in psychology. I'm especially inspired by quantum psychology because it aligns so closely with the philosophy of yoga, depth, transformation, and working with the subconscious mind. I've practiced yoga since 2011, and now I have own yoga therapy school. Our school now getting accredited in yoga therapy programs that meets the AIT standards. The yoga community in Ukraine is so strong. We have a lot of experience, work with wide range of health conditions. But yoga therapy in Ukraine is also young, and that's why partnership with CIT is so important to us. It's a big experience for us, and to be a part with the global conversations. Thank you for this opportunity, and I exciting and inspiring to be here. SYTAR is not just a conference for me; it's a place where we grow both professionally and spiritually. And I think if we speak different languages, I truly believe we hear each other with our head. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Olena, your English is great.
I have myself noticed, and I noticed.
No, you're great. You're really great. And thank you for sharing like the healing wonders of yoga. Like, a lot of the times when we hear, a lot of us come to yoga, we're searching for something with ourselves, trying to take care of something as it relates to ourselves. And then we understand how beautiful the practice is. And I guess the kind of personalities we are, we want to share this with the world. We want to share these healing benefits with the world. So thank you for all that you are doing. We are going to go to Mechelle.
Hello, everyone. I'm thankful, grateful to be here, in much appreciation that I was chosen, selected to share my yoga practice at the conference this year. My background is information technology. My story with yoga began when I was very young. I didn't go to yoga. Yoga kind of came to me. I grew up in a rural area where we didn't get to do much but work and go to church. And so there wasn't much that they approved that we could actually look at on television. But one of those things was this lady, I've come to know her as Leela Fahan at the time. I think she was one of the first yogis that was actually doing a televised. So as a kid, it was one of the things that I could do. I didn't really know that she was doing yoga. I just sort of mimicked her. But one thing I always remember was how I felt after that practice, not even knowing it was a practice, but I took it with me throughout my life. And so my life had a lot of twists and turns, a lot of dysfunction, but I always went back to how this particular movement in my body made me felt and adjusted me for whatever it was I was experiencing in my life. So as I got older and continued this practice, I began to know and learn it as yoga. And so I became curious about it. It was a novel in my life at that point. It worked. It helped here and there. And then as I experienced other things in my life, it was the space that I said, I need to go into this space a little bit deeper. And so at the time, I wanted to learn more. I didn't have any challenges with my physical body, more with my life. And so I knew that this was a safe space for me to go in. And so I did. I went to study it as just a student, and then I started to become interested in it. And I took a teacher training class, not to teach anybody anything, not to have a studio, not to do any of those things. I just wanted to take the practice a little deeper and learn a little more. And so that's what happened. And in doing so, it really shaped and shifted my life in such a way that I wanted to share it. And so I began to share it just by living my life. And those around me saw the difference and took note, and I would share it. And then I wanted to know more. And I started teaching unofficially for years. And as yoga began to really take shape in the world, I became certified in it and then wanted to go deeper, found out about the International Association of Yoga Therapists. And so I learned and studied a lot of times on my own, didn't have a lot of teachers that looked like me in my area. And so I became a pioneer. And so I ended up opening a studio in Atlanta. I was the first African-American owned studio in the city at that time. And it wasn't well received because people thought it was, going to take them away from maybe their religious practices or so forth. And so I could assure them, being who I was, raised where I was raised, and loving the Lord like I do, that it did not do that. If anything, it brought you closer. So I was able to delve down deeper into the practice, and then voila, the rest is history, so to speak. So I've been a studio owner since 2005, and I've taught lots of places, lots of people, lots of places and people have taught me. So it's been a wonderful exchange. And so now I get a chance to share this exchange at this conference. And so I'm bringing a particular class, Magical Movements for Vitality in the Body. I work with people of all ages, but my to-go-to people have been mature bodies. So I love working with the mature bodies. I have one, so I know a little something about a mature body. And so I've started practices with senior centers in the city. I'm here now at Morehouse College. I teach over at Morehouse College. I've had a contract with them for about 8 years, and some of the other colleges here in the city that I get a chance to share not only yoga, but other healing modalities with. And so I'm just honored. I'm very thankful and grateful to share what I do in my own personal life, as well as teaching it professionally. And I'm thankful and grateful. Thank y'all so much.
Wow, thank you. I felt your story in my heart. I really felt that story, and I'm actually smiling because like I had really loved your title. I love the alliteration, magical morning movements and, and moments. I thought that was pretty cool. I'm gonna turn things over to my colleague now, Kelly.
Thank you, Marita, and thank you, Mechelle, and everyone for sharing the experiences that brought you each to this work. And I do think that as a couple of you and Marita said, it is something that once you feel and once you experience, you can't really hold it to yourself. It's something that we are drawn to sharing with others. So let's shift now and hear a little bit about your sessions at SYTAR. If you just give us a quick overview, what topic you'll be exploring and what participants can look forward to learning or experiencing in your session. And I'm going to go around again. I'll switch up the order. And let's start with Dr. Kathy. Kathy, you actually are going to be offering 2 sessions in addition to your keynotes on qualitative research. You also have an afternoon session titled Falling Awake, the Fun Guide to Integrating EMDR, Brain Spotting, and Yoga Nidra for Trauma, Addiction, and Self-Regulation. So do you want to just give us a brief overview of both of those and a little taste of what people can expect in your sessions?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I'll just start with the title of my afternoon presentation, which is based on my second book that was just published called Falling Awake, Integrating the Fun Guide, my cognitive behavioral program with the brain therapies, EMDR, brain spotting, and Yoga Nidra for trauma and self-regulation. What I became really curious about as I went on my yoga therapy journey and my journey as a clinical psychotherapist is how similar yet different these trauma-informed practices are in accessing where trauma is held in the brain and the body. So in my morning session, I'm going to talk about how I made the invisible visible by exploring what actually happens during Yoga Nidra, because our clients don't talk or move. They lay down, they have their experience, and then they get up and roll their mat up and leave. And to demonstrate what I think is really important about the research, and I'm going to talk about this in the afternoon with the EMDR, brain spotting, and Yoga Nidra, is to get ourselves some validity in terms of our profession as yoga therapists, which is extremely important. Like, how does yoga therapy different from physical therapy or from mental health counseling? Because we're all accessing the brain in very succinct but different ways. My fun program I created in 1994 when I got hit by a drunk driver while running, because I was told I would never walk or run again. And during that experience, I created the fun program because I said, well, wait a minute, if I listen to what these authorities are telling me about my life, then I am not going to walk or run again. So I turned it around and created the fun program, which means focus on the thoughts you're thinking about, undo the thoughts that are holding you back. And now realizing this, what are you going to do differently? And so I really practice that because it's all about the committee, what we're telling ourselves. This is May. So I'm leading Yoga Nidra and a sound bowl healing tomorrow night, focusing on the throat chakra. It's not only what we say to each other, but what are we saying to ourselves? And EMDR and brain spotting in psychotherapy also help people target what are the negative beliefs that are keeping the story going. And the stories are usually tied to a past event or an anticipation of a future event, and the story then becomes a belief. So I'm really passionate about helping us find out what are the core negative beliefs, the problematic beliefs that we're holding on to. And I'm saying we, because we all do it, because all of our intention, emotions, and traumatic events are real, but not true now. The past is over. Yes, There are some things that we need to get processed when we get triggered. That's why us therapists get a bad rap, because we say, oh, I've already been to therapy and I've talked to 20 therapists about that, but we're never done with our healing. Our healing journey is an inside job. So that's why I like EMDR, brain spotting, and in particular yoga nidra. And during COVID, and particularly now, there are so much stress in people's lives. We need to stop talking and just lay down and let the brain bring up everything that's there that's upsetting us, and then letting it go. So in the afternoon session, I'm not going to have enough time to talk about all these different therapies, but I really want my experiences with people to be experiential, to learn what practices that you can put into play immediately to help you calm down your nervous system and get out of that fight or flight response. And I call myself the fun therapist based on my fun programs, because I think that our healing journey should be fun. So that's what I'm going to be talking about in June.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. And it does sound fun. And I love that you've built in, like actionable steps. You have a whole pathway to follow, and I can't wait to hear more in June. Let's go to how about Olena? Do you want to tell us about your roundtable session where you'll be presenting on chronic pain?
Yes, thank you for your question. Thank you. My session and at SYTAR is about migraine, not just as a diagnosis, but as an experience of the body and nervous system. Migraine is the body saying, I'm overwhelmed. Please listen. I will share how breath's gentle movement and awareness can support us during different phases of migraine, from aura to pain to recovery. So we'll also explore how pain is often connected to emotion and inner tension that we don't always notice. Real change often comes not when pain goes away, but when we change how we treat ourselves, learning to listen, set boundaries, and feel our worth. And it's not coming from ego. I'm also speaking in this roundtable session together with Amber and Melissa, who will share their powerful perspectives from science to subtle inner work. Participants will gain a new understanding of migraine, I think, learn tools for support and self-regulations, and reflects. What is my pain trying to tell me? What is my body say to me? This is not a lecture, it's a quiet conversation between you and your body. Maybe even the first step to deeper self-awareness. I think. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think it's it is fascinating to me that pain is so complex, and it's not just as simple as tissue tissue damage equals pain. There's so much emotionally and mentally as well as physically that goes into how we perceive pain. So that sounds also like a really interesting session, and thank you for sharing about that. I'm going to go back down to Mechelle now. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about your magical morning movements and moments practice that you'll be offering?
Absolutely. Thank you. I will be leading a morning magical movement for vitality. And so it gives the participants an opportunity to awaken their body gently, lovingly. The idea is to partner with your body. The body is very intelligent, and so we allow an opportunity for that intelligence to unfold with gentle, accessible movements that's comfortable, hopefully, for everyone, whether they are able to stand and move or sit. And so the practice actually meets you right where you are. We have an opportunity to partner and really understand partnership in the body and what that means. a reminder. It's a class of remembering who you are, getting a chance to feel your way through your natural state, which is grace. Grace is your natural state. Healing is your natural state. And so this is just reminder movements so that you can remember that is the natural state. My hopes is that people will walk away more aligned, balanced, and operating with clarity. And that equals harmony to me. Those are the ABCs of this practice of magical movements for vitality, because each day is a new day and we need to have the capacity to actually move through the day. And this, I believe, this I know is a way to actually decide, determine, discern what it is that I may need for this day as I'm waking and starting out my day. My hope also is that when we participate in the signature part of the practice, which is body talk, that we get a chance to really talk to the body. And so that's going to be something maybe new for some, not so new for others, but we actually speak to the heart. We literally say, hello, heart, how are you? Thank you so much for all that you do just for me. Keep the good work up. So it's a day, a moment of appreciation. The practice allows you to literally appreciate your body and all that it will and will not do throughout the moment of the practice.
Mechelle, that sounds lovely. And I love the work that you're doing to help those that practice with you cultivate compassion in their bodies. It's something that we all, I think, at least, for me, it's a constant practice being loving to myself. And I hope that I get to practice with you while we're at SYTAR.
I hope so, Kelly. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it sounds great. I know that there's so many morning practices too. Another one, Dr. Abney is delivering another morning practice. And I have to say your title too, because you also used a bunch of wonderful alliteration in your title. It's Soundscapes of the Soul, a somatic breathwork and sound healing experience. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what those taking your class can expect?
Yeah, absolutely. I won't go into the sciencey stuff because I feel like Dr. Kelly did a beautiful job of explaining the science behind some of the experiential practice that attendees can expect from mine and Dr. Hill's somatic wellness experience. But I'll talk a little bit about what can be expected. And so Dr. Hill and I are avid experiential practice facilitators. And we also do our own healing work in that way. And so we wanted to bring an experience for attendees that helps them return inward, return to self. We are of the mindset, and I'm pretty sure everyone on this call could probably attest to this, that we live in this social media driven age where there's so many external influences. And if you work in mental health in any capacity, then you recognize that everyone is in this space of being overstimulated in some shape, form, or fashion. And so this soundscape experience is returning us not just inward, but restoring that deep connection to soul that we kind of lose when we turn to external stimuli for validation and return our awareness externally. And so what attendees can expect is certainly deeper connection to those somatic, those nuanceical aspects of self, recognizing nervous system stimulation and releasing of those stored emotions that come up from these historical experiences, or even that fear that Dr. Kelly was kind of talking about from the future. And then just an enhanced self-awareness of who we are in our innate nature. So you can kind of expect that there's certainly going to be sound bowls, but we integrate all of your senses essentially into this practice. And so we're not just focusing on one aspect of self, but we're really bringing full mind, body, and spirit into practice and into exploration with compassion. And I love the word that Mechelle used, grace, because I use that word a lot in my practice, just extending grace to self in this deep exploration that, again, we don't often have the opportunity to experience in such a deep and intimate way because of all the things that we all do as healers and as humans. And so I want to give you a full understanding of the practice, but I'm just going to leave it with you have to be there.
Thank you. That sounds lovely too. And I always love the incorporation of, sound healing into a movement session. If you had watched Marita and I's first session with SYTAR presenters, one of our keynotes, Reggie Hubbard played one of his
Reggie is
scenes.
one of my favorite people.
Oh my gosh, he's awesome. I can't wait to meet him in person and see him at the conference. But he played the bowl, and even like over this, this digital means, I could feel it, and I could feel the energy in my body. It's really, really powerful. So I'm excited for your class as well. I wish I could take everybody's classes. I wish I didn't have to. And we know that at SYTAR we tried to cultivate a really well-rounded and varied experiences for the people who attend. So, no matter what you like, you can find a session that will coordinate with your interests. I want to thank you all today for coming here and spending this time with us, and especially for the presenters for sharing thoughtful insights and offering a glimpse into what's ahead this June in Atlanta at SYTAR. We have so much more to explore. This conference is such a nice place for learning, connection, and coming together as a community. And we'd really love for all of you out there who could attend to be a part of it. We're officially in May now, which means that the early bird registration period is wrapping up soon. So be sure to register by May 20th, and you can save $100 off your registration fee. Head to SYTAR.org, that's SYTAR.org, to check out the full schedule, see all of the presenters, reserve your spot, and pick your sessions. SYTAR is also our main sessions and afternoon sessions will be recorded. If you register for the live conference, you also get access to the recordings, which is super exciting. So some of those sessions, if you can't make it to them in person, you'll be able to watch later. So if you found today's live helpful, you can share it with your community. It's also going to be posted on our YouTube channel, so you can watch there if you've missed it. I am going to take just a second to ask if there are any questions. You can put questions in the chat if you have questions for our presenters or for Marita and I. And let me take a look. I'm not seeing anything, but I actually wasn't able to join this live on Instagram. I usually watch the chat there, and for some reason it kicked me out.
Oh, that's weird. I'm on Instagram. I'm not seeing any questions on there right now.
Okay. Well, if you have any questions, you can always write to us or use contact us on iayt.org, our website. It's in the top right corner. We are going to be back here for another live on May 15th with our sponsors, and we'll get a look into what they'll be offering at SYTAR. So we hope you can join us live for that one. If you want to revisit last year's content, SYTAR 2024 is available on demand at conferences.iayt.org. You can catch every session at your own pace. And you also get continuing education credits for CIAYTs. If you want to stay connected with IAYT, you can subscribe to our e-newsletter at iayt.org. If you're a member of IAYT, you're already subscribed, so you should be getting our emails. And thanks again for tuning in today, here live, or whether you're watching the replay. We're glad you're here, and we will see you again soon. Thank you, everyone.